All right, guys, it's time for another playoff preview. Today, we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, the player that I was wrong about. A few weeks ago, I did a video and I was wrong. Well, maybe at the time I might have been right, but I made a claim that probably Paul George should be MVP. A lot of Bucks fans made comments on that video. Some of them hurt my feelings. Words hurt. But I was wrong. I'm here to admit it. I am that big of a man. I have that big of a heart. And I am that humble that I will admit that Giannis Antetokounmpo is this year's MVP. It's not particularly close. He is absolutely the Greek freak. Unreal performance this season from Giannis. I've watched Giannis, 5 to 10 times this year. It's hard to watch every single game from every team every week, but every time you see Giannis on the floor, it does not matter who he's playing. He dominates them. Whether it's Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year on the Jazz, dominated. Whether it's, LeBron or Kawhi or any of these guys, Giannis is unstoppable. He's an absolute force. The thing that makes me so impressed with Giannis is he's just such pure physical talent, physical attributes that he's just manifested into this incredible player. I mean, every year, he's one of those rare cases where everyone just says, at some point, he's going to be the best player in the league. At some point, he's going to be the best player in the league. He's one who actually, is doing it. He might be. He's certainly going to be the MVP this year with the team that he has and the things that they've done this season. Giannis is the Greek freak. He's incredible. His ability to he's like a one-man offense and defense. His ability to create a transition offense for the Bucks. His ability to distribute to his teammates, to rebound and go. He just is an absolute monster. And he deserves the MVP. They've won the most games. They're the best team. They are just top 5 in in offensive rating, defensive rating, net rating, all these things. They're just incredible. You look at the Bucks and their net rating, it's like the Bucks are here, second place is down here, and everyone else. It's just the Bucks have been phenomenal this year. Now, recently, Giannis did turn an ankle. He is a human being who apparently does occasionally get injuries at times. And he sat out this last game. It's interesting, the Hawks beat the Bucks. I'm sorry, Bucks fans. They beat the Bucks on a last-second shot from Trae Young in overtime. But the Bucks were sitting Giannis. And I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, but Giannis. Who else? Brogdon is out with injury. You're sitting Bledsoe, and I think it was Chris Middleton as well. And they still won the game, or it took an overtime shot for the Hawks to beat them. That's how deep the Bucks are. They've put together an incredible team for this season. I don't know how they keep all those pieces next year. Brogdon's coming to Utah, but they've done incredible things, and this year is their year. And why can't they win? With all the problems going on in Golden State, with DeMarcus Cousins causing issues, the downgrading of play from Draymond, there's a chance if the Bucks make it to the finals, they can win it all. Now, I think the Brogdon injury does hurt. It's going to help you. The thing about Malcolm Brogdon is he's just always hitting big shots for the Bucks. You go watch Malcolm Brogdon highlights, and that guy is making big shots at the end of games. Luckily, he probably is back by the second round with what he's doing. Hopefully, because what is this? I meant to do this. I don't know what this is. But yeah, if Brogdon can go back in the second round, then they've got a chance to go all the way. I think it's nuts how much we talk about, the Sixers and the Celtics, and there's just not enough talk about the Bucks in Toronto. It's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks and Toronto Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals. It just is. My pick in my last preview, I think Toronto wins it out, but I could very well be wrong, because honestly, Giannis probably is the best player in the league. Or at least, here's how I look at Giannis. Giannis to me is kind of like Shaquille O'Neal was at his day. Probably not the best player, but maybe the most dominant, if that makes sense. His just physical prowess was just so dominant that it just gave problems to everyone. Giannis is the same way. It's a different type of thing. It's a more athletic, long, speed and all these things. Incredible athletic prowess from Giannis that makes him just dominant. Maybe not the best player, but certainly the most dominant. And I think the injuries will be okay as long as they can stay healthy and Giannis isn't hurt. I like that they're resting him because it's time to go to the playoffs and win. Now's the time to get ready to go to the finals. And it's going to be Toronto and it's going to be Milwaukee. I think that Toronto has the weapons to make it go. But at the same time, even just talking about it and looking at that face right next to me, how do you bet against that face? How do you bet against that? That put nightmares in Rudy Gobert's dreams for like 5 games. Like 5 games after the Jazz played Giannis, he still looked like it was affecting him that game. So Giannis is a beast, and I would not be surprised if the Bucks are representing the Eastern Conference next year. I love that the Bucks have put together. They're just going for it. They're not backing down. This is the team. They've got the guy. They're going for all of it, and they're a fun team to watch. They're just offensively and defensively just showstoppers. And you know what? Golden State's not trying very hard, and it's hard to turn things on when you've got problems. And Golden State has problems. And you know, whether it's Giannis, Kawhi, or whoever, I think the Eastern Conference can win the finals this year. And it very well could be this guy right here. Guys, that's all I got. If I'm wrong about something, that's okay. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe this video and share it with your friends and buddies if you want, or on Reddit or something like that. I will talk to you guys later.